We have to talk about this broad market sell-off. We got good GDP data today. Inflation seems to be under control. Personal spending is up, and yet you have this broad swath of industries complaining about input costs, inflation and margins. Why is that, Taimur?
Vonnie, I don't think we should be surprised. It was always a question of if rather than when. You have great geopolitical uncertainty with the trade war risk. You've got quantitative easing unwinding in the US and other Feds also pulling back. And then you're at the late stage of an economic cycle. So those risks, combined with the peak hype that the technology sector was in, where we've seen much of the declines, really made it inevitable that you would see increasing volatility. We are not surprised.
The VIX today, we should say, above 26. Is this a market simply taking profit?
I think the market is sending quite mixed signals. You do see in the US fairly strong economic growth, as today's GDP data showed, and you do still see some upside in some of the earnings picture. But I think just the overweight of geopolitical uncertainty, what's happening with China, what's going to happen with an unprecedented unwinding of quantitative easing, really means that the market is finally taking these signals more seriously than they perhaps have in the past.
And interestingly, you should mention quantitative easing because we obviously have some movement in the euro, and bonds in Europe as well today were lower. Germany leading the way, yields lower there in Germany. Some demand for bonds as investors push out expectations for a rate hike from the ECB. So I'm curious as to when this will end with these industries. I mean, we have Mohawk down, more than 10%. We have Cerner. It's not just the tech stocks today.
It's definitely broader. I very much see the tech sector as indicative of broader macro trends. I think we had the ECB confirm that they would keep on their path of kind of scaling down the scale of their intervention in the market. And when you take out that sort of vacuum that created around real market forces playing, you will inevitably see the volatility that's a natural part of markets. It has now returned, as it should.